Right now has got to be one of the best times to be a music fan. We've got Fleetwood Mac potentially returning, Oasis gigging up and down the country, Tyler the Creator's just come out with Don't Tap the Glass, and now we have got the sophomore album of the K's. We've got the second album of the K's pretty on the internet. Now, I have been listening to this song for the last 20 hours and 3 minutes on repeat. I can't get enough of Pretty on the internet. Now, I do have a little bit of beef to kick off this video, unfortunately, and that is to Royal Mail, Jacaranda Records, Jamie Boyle. I don't know why this is your fault, but you're in there, son. Now, I went to a gig at Jacaranda Records, and with that gig came a vinyl of Pretty on the Internet, and I still haven't got it. And I'm not happy about it because I want it and I want to listen to it on my record player, man. I've listened to it so many times on Spotify already. I want to listen to it on my record player. It's a lovely, like, cherry and black vinyl as well, which is just, it adds to the collection, as you can see down there, getting guarded by the little dog. We've got a lovely little vinyl collection brewing over there. You can see the Blossoms headlining that at the minute. But Pretty on the Internet, what have I decided to do? I've decided to rank it. Now, the K's, as we said, sophomore album. First album was a really, really good debut. So they had a lot to live up to with this second album. And my God, have they lived up to it. They have smashed it out of the park, if I do say so myself. So, like I said, not a single skip on this album for me. So please don't cry at what is 12th. I haven't included the acoustics. So yeah, it's just the 12. And we're going to kick this off. Number 12, we've got 33 Heads. Now, the case for me, tend to, there are some in-betweens, and we'll get into those as we go along. But the case typically operate either as absolute chaos or kind of chill and sad and slow. 33 Heads is on the slow end of the case spectrum. And for me, it's bottom. It doesn't really hit for me. Now, this isn't a concurring theme. You'll see throughout the video. I am a big fan of slow case songs. I'm not just here for the slamming instruments and seeing what sticks, and a lot of it tends to stick. But I'm not just here for that. I am a fan of a slow case song, but 33 Heads is not one of those for me. Hence it coming in 12th. Like I said, I wouldn't skip it, but it doesn't really hit for me. I've got to be honest. I've got to be real. Something's got to come bottom at the end of the day, and for me, it is 33 Heads. Coming in at number 11, we've got Sold It, Own It. Now, immediately, this isn't looking good for me because I've just spoken about K's being on one end of the spectrum. This is in the middle. This is one of the only K's songs for me, or one of few that sit in that middle of not being a slow song, but also not being pure chaos. And again, similar to 33 Heads, it doesn't really hit for me as the rest of this album does. A really good song. Jamie Boyle, as always, smashes it on vocals. But it just doesn't really do it for me, unfortunately. Again, not a skip by any stretch of the imagination, but it is on the lower end of this album. I think, especially as I've been looking through, once we get into sort of the top 7, this album really is like seriously up there for underrated album of the year, maybe. I mean, obviously, you've got things like People Watching that will steal the limelight. Although there was People Watching last year. I'm not too sure on that, actually. But I'm sure you've got albums that people will rank ahead of this. It's not going to necessarily win an award. But in terms of indie scene underrated albums for the year, this is certainly going to be up there for me. And the top 7 or 8 really is where that starts to hit. But yeah, Sold It, Own It doesn't quite make the top 10 for me. It comes in at 11. Okay, just making the top 10, we have got Rat Poison. Now, I spoke to a friend earlier, and I made this point, and they didn't necessarily agree with me, but I'm going to make it on here anyway. Rat Poison to me has a hint of Icarus, which is completely fine. I know there was a lot of controversy around Wonder Horse and The Rope, sounding a lot like Midas. I don't think Rat Poison and Icarus are that similar, where you can really, really throw the criticism at them. But I do see hints of Icarus in Rat Poison. Um, but what I will say is that I absolutely love Icarus, and it's one of my favorite Case songs. So if they offered me a album of just Icarus sounding tunes, I would snap my hand off. So you know, you got to take it or leave it, and I will take Rat Poison. Absolutely. Well, I won't take Rat Poison, not like that. But as a song on a K's album, I absolutely will. Yeah, Rat Poison's brilliant. Just about makes the top 10 for me. But I can't really justify putting it too much higher because I feel like I've heard similar before, and I feel like a lot of the top 10 are quite unique and different to what we've heard from the K's, but in similar ways that we still love them by. So yeah, Rat Poison just makes the top 10 for me. Coming in at number 9, I have got Picking Up the Pieces, and I feel like I could have made an error here. Picking Up the Pieces could absolutely be higher here, I must be honest. It could, and for a lot of people, I'm sure it will be. Um, Again, this might come down to, and we'll get into this as I continue, this might come down to me just having had more time with some of the singles that were released prior to the launch of the album today. It could well come down to that, but Picking Up the Pieces sits in ninth for me. Get in the comments and tell me what you would move up and down. This is probably going to be one of the main things that I imagine people would move up from my list. But this is what I'm going to go with, just for the sake of not having to then pick up the pieces of this video if I changed it around. So we're going to stick with it. But absolutely, this could be higher in the list. In at number 8, I have got Me and Your Sister. I first off really enjoyed the launch of this song where you had to ring the phone number and it played you a little snippet of it. Thought that was really good. But the song itself is great. Really big fan. Typical K's. We're back with this chaos. I really like how it like hits and then pauses for a second and then hits and then pauses and hits. It's like getting slapped around the face multiple times, but in a good way. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the song, and it could be just below Picking Up the Pieces potentially. Maybe it is because I've had more time with it as a single. But I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna keep it where it is for now. Again, let me know in the comments what you would move up, what you would move down. I can see this being a point of contention. But I'm gonna keep it in 8th for now. Me and Your Sister is a great song, and we talk about album fillers a lot. I don't feel like there's many on here. Like you could argue, people would argue Me and Your Sister is an album filler, and it's just a great song. I bet that it is going to hit live. I'm going to try and get to the Co-op Live gig in Manchester because I felt that would be a great day. Because they've really got this wide discography now of multiple styles of tunes that they can really bring to a live show and bring to a set list. And Me and Your Sister is definitely one that I would put on a set list. I'll do that actually. Let me know in the comments, like the video, whatever. If you want to see a K's set list video close to the time of that gig, actually, because I feel like that could be a really interesting video. Coming in at number 7, I've got the album opener, Before I Hit the Floor. Now, this is probably ranked lower because of my personal preference that we should have had the album opener being Here We Go Again. You know what I mean? Because it's K's, we're back, here we go again. But you know, it's a great tone setter for the album. All joking aside, it's a brilliant tone setter for the album. It's typical K's again, which you know, when you release a new album and your first album was so good as the debut was, you really want to like let people know like this is what we're going with, this is our sound, and we're really going to hammer that home in this second album. And Before I Hit the Floor is definitely that. Then later in the album, you know, you can mix it up, you can experiment with certain things like 33 Heads, like Sold to Own It, but you really want to start the album with your textbook style, really, I would imagine. Again, I'm not a professional, but I would imagine that's what you would go for. And Before I Hit the Floor is absolutely that from the K's. And again, the top 5, the top 6, I really like not all time tunes yet, but like they're really up there for me at the minute in modern day tunes that I have on repeat. So it can't quite push into there, but Before I Hit the Floor is a brilliant song, and I've got it in number 7. Number 6, we have got another song that has been a single and has been a single for a while now, a little while. Breakdown in My Bedroom. I am a big fan of this song. Again, it's one that I've had now for a while. So potentially um, that could be why it's higher than a Picking Up the Pieces. I can see a world where those sort of songs could overtake it in time. But for now, we've got Breakdown in My Bedroom holding down that number 6 spot. Yeah, it's just a great song, great song. Again, it's another one that live will be really, really good. You sort of throughout your set list, you know, you got your peaks, and then you've got your slower songs that hit you with a bit of a trough and emotional, and then you really want to be able to bring that back up again. And I imagine Breakdown in My Bedroom would be that sort of song that comes off the back of things like 33 Heads in a set list and really sort of lift that mood again. But yeah, got it in 6th. Really good song. What more do you need to say, really? In at number 5, we have got a great example of what I was talking about earlier with me liking slower chaos songs and not just being into all the chaos and the slamming of instruments. Perfect Haunting is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And again, similar to Before I Hit the Floor, where you place your songs in an album to me is important as a bit of a nerd. And Perfect Haunting being the end song for this album is brilliant. It really sort of is a final bow on the album, and within a set list as well, it would be great in sort of the midsection where you start to slow things down a little bit, or potentially even in like the last few songs or within an encore. Um, Having Perfect Haunting in there as like a goodbye to the crowd would be great. I know Tyler the Creator does similar to that with like I Hope You Find Your Way Home. Having that sort of final goodbye to a crowd, Perfect Haunting would be really good for that. And it makes the top 5 for my list of pretty on the internet. In at number 4, we have got another song that, you know, it has been a single. It has been out for a period of time longer than the others. So maybe it is that biasy of songs that I really like and have liked for a couple of weeks now coming in. But Gravestone for me definitely comes into the top 4. It's again, it's typical K's. It's brilliant. It's really following on from that first album, and yeah, it's just Jamie Boyle. He's definitely got one of the most unique sounds for a singer within the indie scene at the moment. I Before Pretty on the Internet came out, I likened him to Jake Bugg, but I take that back now. Like within this second album, there's not as much Jake Bugg in there for me. But I think what I was getting at is more like Jake Bugg is so left field, and I feel like Jamie is very similar in that he is very left field. Maybe not in the same direction as I once thought as Jake Bugg, but he is very left field with his voice, and but in a really positive way. I think. I mean, you know, having such a successful debut album and then following it up with something that, based off what I'm seeing on Twitter and on the internet, is people are really responding to Pretty on the Internet really well, as they did with the first album. So only positive things. I think they'll really put themselves in among this mix now of like your Wonder Horses, your Blossoms, potentially even Fontaines. Although I feel like Fontaines are maybe Fontaines and Blossoms maybe the rank above maybe a Wonder Horse, but you'll definitely see the K's now um, starting to headline more higher tier venues and really climbing up that now for me. I did a bit of research earlier, and they had like half the Instagram followers of the Lavums, which are my favorite band, as you can tell, Wigan. Um, but I can see the K's really starting to climb this ladder now after this second album, after a few more gigs, and yeah, it's great to see because they are a brilliant band. So power to them. But yeah, Gravestone, brilliant song, makes my top 4. Will be immense live. Okay, in at number 3, we have got Running Away Now. Absolute banger. What a song Running Away Now is. It's lyrically brilliant and genius. And yeah, Jamie Boyle again smashes it out of the park. It's just great. Again, like a lot of this is textbook K's, but like it's having that ability to balance keeping your style and also bringing something new to the table, and they've managed to walk that tightrope absolutely perfectly with Pretty on the Internet, and Running Away Now is absolutely a perfect example of that. Um, I think my top two here, as you can probably work out what they are by now, my top two are quite different to the normal Ks. I believe maybe one of them isn't. Maybe you could argue one of them's textbook Ks, but the other one is a more of a slower song. Again, I'm sure you can figure it out by now. Um, but yeah, Running Away Now stays on that line of Ks while also differentiating from anything that I've heard from them before, and it's just a brilliant song. So yeah, it makes my top three. Number two, we have got Helena OI, and this is an absolute bang. Like, this is outrageously good music from the boys, and I would argue Helena OI probably makes like a top 5K songs of all time. Again, like, the discography isn't massive, and it will keep growing, and I'm excited for it to keep growing. But Helena OI is really, really, really impressive work. From second one to second, whatever the last second of the song is, you've absolutely got me sat down with my headphones on, like, fully and like in a trance almost, by this song. And yeah, it's just brilliant. The storytelling, like everything about it. I don't want to sound like, oh, but you know what I mean. Like, it's just brilliantly done. Um, I saw this live and it was great at Jacaranda. It was more of a stripped back gig, like I said earlier. Um, but yeah, it was absolutely great to see, and absolutely will make it onto a set list. Again in that midsection, maybe where Perfect Haunting is. Um, maybe coming out of that middle section. So you've got like Perfect Haunting, 33 Heads, then you bring in Helen OI, and then you go back to things like a Running Out of Time, Breakdown in My Bedroom type song, or even what I've got in first. This is absolute. The Benz is absolutely unreal. This is my favorite K song now by some distance, to be honest. And that's not a slight on any of the other songs at all. It's just absolutely unbelievable. I think if you take the Benz and you take the best Fontaine song, the best Wonder Horse song, the best Latham song, even the best Blossom song at a push, I think the Benz competes with them. To be honest with you, in my opinion. Um, and it'd be interesting to see in the comments what you think about that. But the Benz is absolutely unbelievable. It's brilliant. The music video I love as well. If you haven't watched the music video for the Benz, go and watch it. It's great. Um, but it is absolutely out of this world silly good, to be honest with you. Again, it's one that we've had for a little while now, but my opinion doesn't change on it. Like, it's absolutely out of this world. In a set list, this will absolutely go off. I saw a video, an interview with Dexter, the bassist, and he was saying that the Benz was the most well received and the quickest well received that he's seen one of the K's singles to be. In that, like, he said the first time they played it live, immediately the crowd was like on it, knew the words, was absolutely getting amongst it. Compared to, he said, normally with their singles, where the first time they play it live, people are taking it in a little bit more. But he said the Benz was like outrageous, and it's the best single they've had received in a first gig, which I'm not surprised by at all. And I saw this. I'll insert a little video. I'll insert a little video here of the K's playing the Benz live, but it's just Jamie and a piano, I believe, or something like that. It was unbelievably good. It was the acoustic version live at Jacaranda. I'll insert a little video now. Here we go again. You about to give me the bends. Guess I'm gonna pretend that we'll be better off as friends, because it's like we talk and don't talk, then you come, cause I'm pumping on your radio again. You about to give me the bends. So yeah, as you can see, that absolutely the acoustic version is unbelievable, and I imagine the live version at like a co-op, or, oh, it's going to be unbelievable. I need to be in that standing pit at the co-op. I just need to be there because it's going to go off after the second album. They've got such a wide variety now, as you can see with these songs um, that they can pick from. And it's just going to be unbelievable. K's gigs have just gone absolutely up a notch. And like I said before, with like Wonderhorse and Fontaines and Blossoms and Lavums, and I really hope that the K's now can propel themselves into these conversations because they are a brilliant band. Now that they've got that broader discography and they can really hit home with more gigs and headlines and hopefully go and tour this album and like hopefully have it really well received as it has for me. Um, and yeah, I just can't wait to see what they've got next, to be honest with you. But yeah, there you have it. That is going to be my rankings for Pretty on the Internet, the second K's album. Let me know in the comments if you want me to rank any more albums, if you want me to do tier lists as we did with the Sam Fender video. If you haven't watched that, go back and watch it. Give the video a like, give it a subscribe. I've got some ideas in my head of like ranking old music, ranking new music, maybe making set lists for really big upcoming gigs that are coming. Just missed the boat for the Oasis one, unfortunately, but we're going to really jump on that now. I also do football content, so if you're interested in that, I feel like the Venn diagram of football and music tends to overlap quite a bit. So if you're interested in football as well, we do that. And yeah, I'm just going to start churning out videos, to be honest with you, because why not? I want to create a little corner here where we can all just positively talk about music and football opinions, and I'll sit here with my little microphone and we'll just chat basically and see what we all think on certain things. And you know, the internet can be a little bit of a toxic place sometimes, but we're gonna make a little corner over here where we can just talk about music, talk about football, and yeah, get in the comments what you'd like me to speak about. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like on your way out. Ta-ra.